All right, you're live.
Slide my thing back over and we'll open
One
this
second.
screen. All right, welcome here, everybody. It's about 2 minutes till 5. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Give everybody a chance to get logged on. I know we get more views of our recorded version than we do of our live, but we sure appreciate those of you who are taking time out of your busy day here as the Wednesday winds down. I had an idea. I think I'm going to start calling it Wind Down Wednesdays and just feature another bottle of cab for every Wednesday broadcast. I had an idea for like our happy hour get together during this quarantine. Rather than keep it all serious, let's just have some fun with it as a happy hour environment at 5 o'clock every Wednesday, right? We'll see if I can get people to buy into that. We'll see. We're going to give it another full minute till we get rolling. Got some really interesting stuff for you today. I believe that if nothing else, Annie Mac Home Mortgage is putting our best foot forward to help our realtors during this crisis. And we think that some of you have already expressed not only your appreciation, but actually your results to us. And I'm going to continue to talk about that for a long time after this month together that we spent in April. And who knows, maybe we'll continue it in May. If you all are interested in staying together, maybe I can work as an advocate for you. Maybe I can work as an additional support system for you when you have questions, concerns about the market, or if you even have business ideas. Maybe we'll come up with a forum where we can start to share ideas back and forth. So, Miss Carrie, are you okay with us going ahead and getting started?
It's 5:00. You got to give it 2 more minutes.
All right. She says I'm on a leash for 2 more minutes. We'll give it another 120 seconds and we'll get rolling. How are we doing? Pretty good? Oh, I know you want one more minute. I was just asking you how we doing.
Oh, we're good.
All right. Had some real surprises last week with some old friends logging on. I haven't talked to several people that are in the real estate industry for a while, and I just had this slew of old friends logging on last week. It was really pleasant. I'm sure I have some old friends on today as well, and maybe even some new friends. So
Hello from Michigan.
hello from Michigan. Hello from, I've seen Chicago, Denver, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Washington State, Florida certainly is represented every week. But I don't want to keep everybody waiting. We go ahead and get rolling.
You're good to go. Go.
All right, she just gave me the green light. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I was lucky enough to co-found a real estate productivity platform known as Annie Mac Works. It is picked up exclusively by Annie Mac Home Mortgage. And our role in your world today during the quarantine is just to really not only empathize and sympathize with the challenges that you all are facing, but really extend an olive branch that can help you have the most productive summer that you've ever had. And I've been honest with all of you during the past several weeks that I'm scared stiff. I've been scared straight on this one. I'm afraid that the whole world's going to collapse sometimes like it did back in 08 and 09, 10. But as the weeks have gone along and as more information is coming forward, I'm seeing real estate agents writing deals right now. I'm seeing agents taking listings right now. I'm seeing inventory start to climb. In fact, in the neighborhood that Carrie and I are farming and shopping in, we're seeing new listings pop up yesterday and today. I've personally gotten calls back from my absentee owners, and I'm going to share with you those listings over the next couple of weeks. Some of my best friends that are in the business have gotten some listings as well. So I think that I would say it's cautious optimism. I would say that's where I'm at now. I'm not scared to death like a dog that's been beat too much. I'm actually cautiously optimistic and starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. If you look at the April calendar that's in front of you, we've already eaten up 3 of the 5 broadcast weeks. And during the first couple of weeks, we dug as deep as we could into topics. And I think last week we might have even created some confusion, if I'm being honest. A lot of my friends and coworkers from around the community have asked a lot of questions about last week. So we're going to try to clear that up this week. In addition to the rules that we set in the first meeting, we said we were going to get in the boat and we were going to row together. We were going to paddle hard and we were going to take this downtime in April 2020. If you call it downtime, I call it sharpen your sword time. I could call it get your mind ready for the opportunity to come. Get your mind and your body ready for the race that's ahead, meaning May, June, July, August, September are going to be fantastic, busy times for us. There's a lot of pent-up listings right now. There's a lot of pent-up buyers. So working together on the things that we're working on in the month of April, to me, just makes common sense as a business person, as an entrepreneur. But there's four categories of focus that we've been hoping to focus on. The first one was absentee owners. So many, probably hundreds and hundreds of friends from across the country have already started to spit out those letters. And I only want to remind you that it's no rule. There's no rule here, but our guidance is 20 letters a week. And I've seen some comments. Well, I got a text back from somebody that said no, or I got a call back, but they said they weren't interested in selling. That is the gravy, guys. That is the simmering starting to happen. 20 a week, 4 weeks in a row is 80 notes. Out of 80 notes, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 positive conversations. But it's really a marathon. It is not a sprint. The secret pill, if there is one, to the absentee owner notes is to do them every week. So 50 weeks out of the year, 20 notes a week is 1,000 notes. That's a practical test. And if there's ever been one common denominator among realtors, it's their quit rate is too early. They all quit at the 30-day mark, the 60-day mark, or the 90-day mark of a new project instead of carrying it through to the 6-month mark and then judging it. Because for all of my realtor friends online today, buy yourself a calculator and do 3% of the number and say, well, gosh, if I only did 4 transactions this year from all those notes, wouldn't it still be worth doing? 1 a quarter is still worth doing, not just 1 a month. Gosh, if you get lucky and you do 1 a month, that's great. But 1 a quarter is even pretty good. If you're a business person like me, I spend X amount of dollars and I get Y back. That's business, right? So don't judge them too early. Stick with them for 3, 4, 5, and 6 months before you judge them, and start to savor, start to appreciate those no's, because those no's are your first point of contact to build a relationship and say, listen, I'm always here for you. I live nearby your home. I'm the area expert. Get in those little jabs with that seller and let them know that you're serious about working with them and you're here to help them, whether it's comparables that would be used by an appraiser, whether it's an inspection, a pre-listing inspection, whether it's a staging analysis, or maybe you just want to act as their concierge when they're coming down to visit their vacation home or going out to their landlord. Maybe they need your counsel. Maybe they need your cabinet of service providers that you can help them with a landscaper, help them with a roofer, help them with a termite vendor or something like that. Don't sell those no's short. Now, the second week we did was database mining. And this is where I think I left you guys a little bit confused. The database mining relationship that I brought in, Chris, is an old friend of mine. You heard last week he was an agent of mine at my brokerage when he was just 19 and 20 years old. Today, he's a few years older than that, and he's very successful at in his current marketplace. For those of you who don't know, Parkland, Florida was the home of the Stoneman Douglas Valentine's Day shooting a few years ago. And our homes, my home and Chris's home, were within a couple of miles of that high school. So Chris and I have been friends forever. And I think where the confusion came on is I don't usually endorse or mention really products by name. And I think that left some confusion in our communication with you. We wanted to teach you first and foremost about reducing your marketing expenses and your labor through database scoring, so that if you had 1,000 contacts in your database, you weren't necessarily marketing to all 1,000 every single month. Maybe you were marketing to all 1,000 quarterly, but on a monthly basis, you were focused on those 80 score or better clients. So imagine in any 1,000 person database, there might be 20 or 30 of them that are shopping for a home, shopping for a refi, or shopping for a relocation at any given time. It's not 1,000 of the people that are in your database are actually looking to make a move, right? So what the scoring system does is it allows you to spy on your friends and family, your past customers. And we talked to you about the baby crib challenge. This week I shopped for something. I can't remember exactly what it was that I shopped for this week. Oh yeah, it was one of those smooth tripods that you hold in your hand, and it keeps the bumping off the screen because we're doing more film work now. And I went shopping on it online, and I did a search of it, and then lo and behold, the next day, all over Facebook was SMOVE, those tripods. So it does work. It absolutely works that when your customers are shopping on Zillow, shopping on Realtor.com, shopping on a mortgage calculator, or doing any mortgage shopping, that their score starts to tick up. So I want to clarify for you, the secretweapon.info is a project that Chris launched to resell this service. But this is cool. I really believe this. For $79 a month, he's providing the training as well as the service. So it would be like hiring a coach in database mining, but you're paying him $79 a month. I don't think it's a bad deal. So rather than endorse it or stand up for it and tell you it's great, I'll tell you that there's a company called Offers that does the same service. There's a company called Revaluate that he resells for and uses their algorithms to score your data. But he's got a product that includes the teaching, training, and coaching on a regular basis with you for $79 a month. So I didn't want to get into endorsing or pumping products, but I do want to say that in the yellows on your screen right there, the secret weapon, Carrie and I have both gone through all 12 training modules. We have both bought data from the secret weapon. So we've signed up. And I think one of the pieces of confusion was there at the bottom of your screen right now. And I'm done talking about it, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any kind of angry, misinformed people bouncing around out there. The angle at the bottom of the screen where it said it has to be billed annually is where I argued with Chris and the company. So we were able to renegotiate that with Chris and his group so that you can pay monthly now. It's not required that you pay the entire annual bill at one time. So we think that's a big deal. Rather than sign up at like $800 for the year, you sign up for $79 a month. It includes all the teaching, training, and coaching that Chris's organization is going to provide for you. But that's not the point of this week. I just owed it to you to clarify. And Carrie and I, Carrie at AnnieMac Works, Russ at AnnieMac Works, or Service at AnnieMac Works, which is our good friend Megan Siegel, we're always available to help you. So if you have a question, don't just let it kind of murmur or simmer, just reach out to us and we'll help clarify anything like that ever comes up for you. We talked about 4 channels. And before I go into these 4 channels, I want to say something that's kind of off script and even a little bit, I just think, curious. I took a trip last year. In 2019, I actually spent time in Key West, Florida, the southernmost point of the country. And then I traveled all the way up through, including Montana, Wyoming, all the way up through the Canadian border, through the Canadian Rockies, and on to a little spot called British Columbia and a town, a little ski town called Jasper, Canada. And if you look at that road that I took from the southernmost point of Florida all the way to almost Alaska, I almost made it to Alaska, but I had to come back for a wedding. If I didn't have to come back for the wedding, I wouldn't have. But I did. If you just think about that trek, I want to talk to you about that for just a minute. You know what I noticed at every exit? It was the same damn stores. If you want to visit the entire country, you're going to see the same stores. Okay, from Florida to Alaska, the same stores. Michael's, Bed Bath and Beyond, Cracker Barrel. You know, every exit's got a mobile gas station. Every exit's got a Shell. You know, it's the same exact. Is someone making fun of me, baby? She's over there giggling for some reason. Somebody's comments are making her laugh, but I'm gonna stay away from it.
Russ has the best wife, and everybody's starting to have.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, let's stick with the topic at hand. If you personally visited 1,100 exits over a 9-month trip, and you saw the same stores at every exit nationally, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of the trip? Wasn't the purpose of the trip was to go see new and different stuff? Well, of course, I went off the beaten path and found all the local places, and I visited all the national parks, and I had an incredible time. But my point for you has to do with those stores. Why do you believe that a Jimmy John's pops up at every exit? Why do you believe a Subway pops up at every exit? Why, pray tell, would a $1.8 million build called Cracker Barrel happen at every exit? Why? Because the formula works. They know that as long as there's a certain amount of traffic and a certain amount of population density that surrounds that exit, that if they put a Michael's arts and crafts store there, it's going to churn $400,000 a year in profit. That's after all the employees get paid, all the store expenses, everything. They're going to make $500,000 a year per store. So they just put up 1,000 stores, and they do that in every store. Another example would be if you ever owned a franchise like Subway or McDonald's. What you find is that the formula exists, and the franchisees do not change that formula. No McDonald's franchisor ever says, let's not sell Big Macs. That's a foregone, that's a stale old recipe. Nobody says that. They all have the same items because the formula works. I've been reeling on that. Since I returned from my trip, it's just been going around my head for the last 6 or 8 months. Why don't realtors have a formula? Why the hell do we have 2 million realtors all doing it 2 million different ways? And why do we have so many of our realtor friends nationally that are struggling? Because they're not following a formula. They're not doing 2 all beef patty, special sauce, onion, cheese, lettuce on a sesame seed bun. You know what they're doing? They're making it up on their own. Every day they're making up a new way to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So when you look at these 4 sources of business and you say to yourself, could Russ, with no ulterior motive, with no coaching contract, stealing $1,000 a month from you every month, no reason to fib to you, only as a friend, a third party with a 34-year history of making a heck of a lot of money in this business. I almost said tons of money. I've had years where I made $1.8 million in commissions selling real estate, and that's a fact. An average year would be 160 sales as an individual agent, and as a broker owner, we were selling 350 homes a month. Okay, so it's not like I forgot how to do that. So if a third party like me says to you, follow these 4 sources like a formula, could you think maybe, and just if you're over 16 deals a year right now, let's give you the kudos you deserve, right? If you're over 16 deals a year right now, then you probably have several sources of business that are consistent for you. But I'm talking to the agents right now that are rolling their eyes. How's this summer going to be the best summer ever? How's this summer going to be so great? How am I going to take listings this summer? I've never taken any listings before. Focus on this, guys. 4 sources of business with 4 deals a month, 4 deals each per year. So you're looking for 4 transactions from your absentee owners. You're looking for 4 from your database mining. You're looking for 4 from your seasoned leads or your lead conversion. And you're looking for 4 from your subdivision farm. Now, there's not one person on this call today, even if we stapled your tongue to your bottom lip, even if you are stammering with nerves, that we couldn't teach you the right scripts to close 4 absentee owners, 4 database mining deals, 4 seasoned leads, and 4 subdivision farming clients. That's 16 closings a year. Now that might not be exciting to any of you because you probably never managed 550 agents like I did. We run a network right now of 30 or 40,000 agents across the country. Do you know how few of them? It breaks my heart to tell you how few of them sell 16 homes a year. Do you know that like 90% of all realtors that are alive today don't sell 16 homes a year? And unfortunately, maybe for them, it's the same 90 percentile that refuse to follow a formula. Man, you take the hot shots like Chris Cusimano, for example, or my buddy Todd Marcus out in Denver last week that popped on, or my good friend Steve Levin in Coral Springs, or Dean Ehrlich in Parkland, are all these great realtors, Lori Reeder over here in Plantation. These people followed a formula. They stayed in the box. You know, so many of you, well, we got to get outside the box. No. Stay in the box. Do these 4 every week for 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, you ask me if you need to go outside the box. That's just to get to your first 16 sales a year. That's what I'm talking about here, guys. Now, if somebody's already at 25, man, we got to help you a whole different way. Time to get an assistant, time to get your sales automation in place, time to get into your digital transformation and really focus on your CRM work. If you're already doing 16, 20, 25 sales a year, it's time to start thinking about building a team. It's time to start thinking about bringing on buyer's agents. It's time to start leading as a humble servant leader rather than just a go for it, sales guy every day. But becoming a leader, becoming a team leader, becoming a digital transformation agent, becoming an agent that knows how to manage their personal assistant, those are all after you get to your first 16 deals. So what I'm showing folks today is a formula just like Michael's, just like Subway, just like McDonald's, just like Jimmy John's out on every exit that I had to visit this year. You're looking at a formula that if you just follow it, 16 sales, you're probably making 100 grand easily. And you could certainly do that still in what's left of the 2020 calendar year, because these next 2 quarters are going to be fantastic, I believe, exciting quarters. But let's talk about season leads. This has been a lesson for me because I was hired to run a company called Homeowner Assist. Homeowner Assist uses my brokerage license to send referrals to realtors all over the country. And we collect standard referral fees from our real estate referral partners across the country. If you want to get involved with Homeowner Assist, you can go to homeownerassist.org and learn all about it. That's the website right there that's on your screen. I don't want to get confusing. Go to the bottom of homeownerassist.org. Go to the bottom of homeownerassist.org. Look at the very, very bottom of your screen right now and hit either the agent orientation button or the nominated agent orientation button. It doesn't matter which one you hit, tell you the truth. If a loan officer nominated you to Homeowner Assist, hit the one on the right. If you're going in and check it out by yourself, hit the one on the left. The reason I want you to think about taking that orientation is what you'll learn about our company and what we do for a living. If you ever want to get involved in our referral network, think of it as Opt City on steroids. When Opt City hands a lead to a realtor, they hand it to them hoping and praying that that lead wants to buy a house. They're not qualifying the lead first. They're not cleaning the lead through a pre-qualification process. What Homeowner Assist does is they never hand over a referral to a realtor until that consumer has requested that they're ready, willing, and able to buy. And that's a big 3, right? That's the big 3 right there: ready, willing, and able. So the customer has expressed that they want to buy, they're pre-qualified financially, and then we hand them back to you. The reason I'm going through this illustration of what I do for a living, besides the Annie Mac Works portal, I also run this Homeowner Assist mechanism. And that's because over the last 35 years, I've contracted with pretty much every one of these vendors that are on your screen right now. At one time or another in my career, I have spent money on every one of these lead conversion systems. Now, the funny thing about that is I have 36,000 dead leads from 2019. See the number at the top of your screen? It says 40,000 leads that we paid for at Homeowner Assist. We got 4,000 of the leads that are in the status of maybe ready to buy. But at the end of the whole year, we only did 400 files. We only closed 400 out of the whole 40,000 last year. So that left us a lot of dead deals. Okay. Now there's some statistics coming up behind the black screen there that are on some more expensive leads, some different leads that we could buy. And of course the numbers go up a little bit each time. So what we're finding is 2 to 4% funding from these lead sources, but it's still leaving tens of thousands of dead leads. I hope you guys know what I mean when I say they're dead. Now, the first thing that I'd like to illustrate for anybody who's looking to become a lead lizard or looking to become a lead junkie or looking to become a lead conversion specialist is you kind of got to know the numbers before you go out and start spending money, right? So take a look down the left-hand side of your screen. This is after 35 years, but really the last 24 months working really intentionally on lead conversion. About 70% of all leads that come in will reach some level of dialogue with us. 34%, we get into what's called meaningful dialogue. Meaningful dialogue could be defined as beyond a surface level yes or no, but really digging into their wants and needs a little bit and what they believe their credit score is, what they believe their income opportunity is to buy a house, and how much money they've saved for their house and things like that. So out of the 34 that we reach meaningful dialogue with, we transfer about 19% of those leads to a mortgage professional to get pre-qualified. That's almost 20% of all the humans that ever come into our portal. We at least get them to start talking turkey about their mortgage. And I would say this for the rookies and the emerging associates that are online. One of the quickest ways to know if you're dealing with a real estate pro or a real estate novice is to call on a house. And if they show you that house without talking about pre-qualifying you for a mortgage, they are not a good realtor. They're not a pro. And many of you will disagree with me on this, but after 35 years, if you don't bring up mortgage or finance with a client before you show them a house, you are truly showing that you're a dabbler, not a doer. You're probably showing that you're kind of not really up to speed with what needs to happen to go shopping for a house. But asking customers about their mortgage and about their financing, about their down payment and about their plans for closing costs and what they're comfortable with monthly payment is the best way to kind of tenderize a lead and kind of get into a nice groove in the conversation. Then TO them over to your loan officer and collaborate like you ever see one of those old wrestling events where they have tag team? Well, you're wrestling first with the client, figuring something out, and then you tag out, you send your mortgage person in, the mortgage person works with them for a little bit, and then they tag you and go show houses. If you're not doing it that way, bad news. 16% have a credit pull, 11% do become qualified for a mortgage, 8% go out shopping with one of our realtors nationally, about 4.4% are closing now in 2020. Remember I showed you some numbers from 19 where they were a little less because we were building our snowball as it was rolling, it was getting bigger and bigger. Now we're at about 4.4% closed and funded. Now this is what I'm talking to you about today. We have been blessed with some lessons from some very tenacious ISAs. We employ inside sales associates. And because we comp them on what's called spiffs, right? We give them little spiffs for any of the leads that they convert. They got real tenacious during this downtime, right? They weren't getting as many new leads as they were getting before. So we went in and we started looking at this screen on your right. About 26% of all the texts that we send out to our clientele, our dead leads, get a response of some kind. That's a big number. 17% of them are positive responses. So if I send out 100 texts, about 17% of the people say, yes, I'm interested. So that's a big thing. About 15% get on the phone and have some meaningful dialogue back and forth. About 8% of all the old leads come back through and get a mortgage pre-qual, 6.5 credit pull, 5% go out shopping with a realtor, and little measly 2% have been going to contract, right? Well, look at this. You're talking about a 6.4% conversion rate rather than a 4.4% conversion rate. And what I'm focusing on with you today is a global understanding of the lead conversion systems that are out there. We're going to get into it for just a few minutes, but I want you to catch the magic in these texts. It has blown my mind. In the same way that those absentee owner letters are sneaky simple with just 3 sentences in them, and they produce every week calls, it's the same way, the sneaky simple text that I'm going to show you. Sneaky simple. Let's put the ROI analysis in perspective. So if an average agent was buying $25 leads, which is kind of a middle of the road lead spend, right? Some leads are $40, $50, $60. Some leads are $6, $8, $10, but cheaper leads aren't always better leads, right? You just need to decide. But I did math based on a 20 lead per week spend for an average agent. So that agent is spending $2,000 a month on lead flow. Okay. Now some of you just gasp, oh my God, there's no way I could spend $2,000 a month. And some of you know that that's the way to make money, right? Look at the annual spend at 24,000. That's buying 960 leads. So if our numbers hold up, and this is true, 11% pre-qualify, 8% go out shopping, and about 4.4% close, that would be 42 closings in a calendar year for a hardworking, diligent lead conversion specialist, okay? So when you look at that mathematics, and you can extrapolate your own percentages, okay? Take the percentages of 11, 8, and 4 and put them into whatever your lead spend is, because I can tell you with the right sales funnel and the right scripts and the right processes, you can achieve 4.4 or much, much better. In fact, I can't even see the text chats going on, but I'd be willing to bet you there are people online that achieve 8, 9, 10, and 11% conversion on their lead spend in residential real estate. But it's not because they're better or worse. It's because they're the only chain of contact, meaning the hot shot takes the call, the same hot shot pre-qualifies them, the same hot shot takes them out, showing the houses, and all the way through. In our system, we do the wants and needs analysis, and then we send them to another realtor in Colorado or New Jersey or Washington State to do the work. So our quality of communication is not as consistent as it is with an individual agent converting their own leads. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but I wanted to show you that. But by adding 2% to the conversion ratio, by really milking these old leads and squeezing them for every drop that we can get out of that, look at the green ink on the black part of your screen right now. By just simply augmenting our conversion percentages by 2%, we're able to take the same $24,000 lead spend and add, $122,000 in income from the same lead spend. So if I'm more excited than I should be, I apologize. But when you see an uptick of a couple percentages on your lead conversion, you're having a lot of fun. Something going on, Carrie?
Anthony B. Harry has a question.
Anthony B. Harry has a question. Carrie interrupted me.
He said, does discuss or require a pre-qual mortgage? I say discuss, but not necessarily require.
We'll get to that in just a minute, Anthony. Let's stay on lead follow-up, and we'll get to some of your personality styles and selling styles down the road. Okay. What we've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt in the 2020 and 2019 beta test of Homeowner Assist is that emails and voicemails are dead. Sure. Could you do them? Yeah. Are they cost effective? Yes. But after sending out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of emails to customers, hundreds of thousands of voicemails, it's just not an effective way to do it anymore. What is more effective is your IDX feeds, these property updates. And most of you already know this. I'm just telling the people who don't know it. Offering property updates of new properties that are coming on the market is one of the most effective things you can do with your old leads. Market updates, whether you subscribe to a market update system like, what's his name? Habib. What's his name? Barry Habib? Yeah. Barry Habib, I believe his name is. He gives mortgage professionals professional, concise mortgage updates, and then they can package them up and send them out to their clients, right? You as a realtor can subscribe to NAR, Risk Media, Inman News, get market update information and send it out to your customers. Those are very effective, especially when the mortgage market is in such flux as it is now. People really read that a lot. But most effective, and this is where the epiphany happened for us. I'm sorry if I'm slow and it took me 35 years to catch on, but texts, especially short texts. And I'm going to show you some examples. Especially short texts are so effective. Short videos where you just grab your camera, you don't change clothes, you don't put on all makeup and do it. You just go, hey there, it's Russ. I've got some new properties on the market. I'd love to show you. If you're ready to start shopping again this summer, let me know. That's tight, right? It's a 10-second video. It's not a 90-second, 120-second video. It's just a pop, pop, pop video. Those are very, very effective. Speak from the heart as if you were speaking to a client at an open house, but say it looking your lens right there into your lens with your eye, and just stare at the lens and say, hey, it's Russ. I'm just making sure that if you're still shopping for a house, you've got all the information. There's 4 new listings on the market right now. If you're looking to go out shopping, give me a call. Bam, 20-second video. That's not a hard thing to do. Short text. And then Chris taught me so much last week. I know we left a lot of you confused, but liking, friending, and commenting on your prospect's Facebook page might seem like a lot of time to invest, but it's the glue, baby. It's the glue. So if you're an individual agent or a small team and you have several hundred leads, load them into the database scoring system, get that group of say 25 or 30 of them that are at the top scores for shopping, and then just go on their Facebook page, like them, friend them, comment, send them little messages on Facebook. Very, very effective, maybe a little out of the box. I don't know, but these are resources that realtors are using. And my buddy in Tampa uses the like, friend, and comment on expired listings as well. He just finds the seller on Facebook and finds that old expired listing and friends them, comments, and likes his stuff, and then creates a relationship out of thin air. And that's on expireds. So if it works on expireds, it'll certainly work on your database, especially if you score your database and you're working with that top 20% of the people who are actually shopping from your database. So let's have some fun. Let me show you some simple, what do we call them? We call them, I don't know, stupid simple maybe. I don't know. I used a different term a few minutes ago, but they're really simple. This is my favorite text. We've been using this. I personally sent out 100 2 Sundays ago, and I got back about 20 or more responses, of which I think 15 or 17 were very positive and engaging. And it simply said, this is what it didn't say. It didn't say, hello, this is Russ from RE/MAX. It did not say that. Hello, this is Russ from Keller Williams. No, it did not say that. All it said is, are you still thinking about buying a house this summer? Are you still thinking about shopping for a home this summer? One sentence, the shortest text you could imagine, is the most effective. Now, if that's sneaky simple, that was the word I was thinking of, right? Sneaky simple. It's almost so simple, like my absentee owner notes that I've been using since I was a 20-year-old realtor. 20 years old, not 20 years in the business. I was a 20-year-old kid using those notes. And I still would use them today. If you drop me off right here, I'll send out absentee owner notes and I'll take listings this month. But sneaky simple means most of you are going to want to mess with it. I saw some of your absentee owner notes in your pictures that you sent me. You used full-size legal envelopes instead of handwritten notes, like I said. You put your sticker on the return address instead of putting a non-specific return address. Remember we said, just put your address. Don't put your name. Don't put your Prudential Rock. Don't put your Merrill Lynch Bull. Don't put anything about your logo of your company on. Just put the address. So it's non-specific. They don't know who it is. But I saw my friends sending out their absentee owner notes in legal envelopes with a sticker that said RE/MAX, Century 21. Yeah, that's the wrong thing to do. Keep it simple. Are you still thinking about buying a house this summer? How about this one? As summer break approaches, you're going to see a trend. We like using date-sensitive texts. So something that calls to mind the season or an impending date, like the holidays or the new year or the election year, or whenever you can use timing in your text, it adds a flavor of urgency and intimacy to the text. So this is probably the longest text we send. It doesn't say who we are. It doesn't say where we're from. It just says, as summer break approaches, many listings are coming on the market. Are you ready to shop again? You're talking to an old lead, last year's dead leads, right? So you're going to jar their memory by, who is this guy? I don't even remember who this person would be reaching out to me. And then you remind them that they inquired to you last year. You know, they inquired you. I didn't even infer that their inquiry was from last year. I just said, we received an inquiry from you and we were just responding to it. And they go, oh, I'm still in the office this evening. We send this out at 7:30 at night. It's sick effective. I will tell you, my ISAs will work from 7:30 p.m. to about 9 p.m. just cleaning these leads. Honest to goodness. 7:30. I'm still in the office this evening. I have your file open on my desk. Do you still want to find out how much you qualify for? So we're shifting from shopping for real estate to understanding what they're qualifying for, right? How about this one, bottom left of your screen? Are you ready to start shopping for a home again? Guys, you would think you would need a better gift to gab, right? You would think, but that's not what it takes. It just takes action. Just send the text. Don't copy one of these and send it. You'll have significant success if you send these texts to your old, tired leads. A few listings have come on the market since we last spoke. Would you be able to close in June or July? Remember earlier we talked about time sensitivity in your texts and emails? Say something about the election year coming up. Say something about the kids being out of school. Say something about 4th of July or before August 1st. Anything that you can iterate in your text that talks about timing really prompts more calls. I can attest to that. And the only thing we haven't talked about yet, past liking, friending, and commenting, the only other thing that works, and I know most of you hate this, is power dialer work. I will sick my ISAs, and I have personally gotten on the power dialer. Yes, I have. I do it just to show off for the guys because I like to get on the power dialer and talk to the customers myself quite a bit. Call them over and over again. This is statistics that is staggering, okay? If you listen to this statistic, it will change your mind about your profession. The average buyer engages their realtor professional after 12 calls, but the average realtor calls 3 times and gives up. If there's any truth to that, and I don't have an ulterior motive, that the average customer engages with their realtor after 12 calls and you're stopping at 3, do you see where there might be a fall off in your production versus some of the other people in our industry? So buy yourself a power dialer, call them over and over and over until they pick up the phone, and send them these types of texts. If they're not responding to your texts, hit the power dialer. I'm going to take just a minute and run through the versions of vendors that I've used in the past, and then I'll tell you which one we're using right now. SMS Magic is fantastic. It's $50 to send out a couple hundred texts a month. You'd never need more than that as an individual agent. You'd have enough inbounds off of a couple hundred a month that you wouldn't want to do more, trust me. For $100 a month, if you run a small team and you have 3 or 4 buyers agents, you maybe send out a few hundred on a week and then get the responses back that week and then start working those. You will have success. If you keep your text simple, you're going to have success. I just discovered a new vendor. I never saw their name before. I think they maybe were an old vendor and changed their name. I'll look into it and fill you in, but it's called Kixie, Kixie. They enable you to send texts instead of talking to your clients. And I can't tell you what an amazing epiphany is. You can teach old dogs new tricks, guys. I'm an old dog and you can teach me new tricks. I've learned that texts are the most effective mechanism for nurturing these old buyers back in. Here, kitty, kitty, they get back involved. Phone burner. If you've never used a power dialer before, a phone burner is one of the easiest to apply. You download it right to your computer, you load your clients in, and you put your headset on, and it'll only put you on the phone with people who answer. Some of you know Vulcan 7 already, or Mojo. MOJO, Vulcan 7, they kind of work together. If you're someone who power dials expireds and buy owners like I did, you need a power dialer because it'll keep you on the phone. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about these dead leads before we wrap up for the day, and show you at the bottom of your screen how we've gotten our conversion rates to about 6.4. And if anybody's converting better than 6.4, remember, we're handing our leads out to 1,000 different realtors across the country. So our levels of service are different among all of our referral partners. But if we're sending, if we were doing it ourselves here locally, we might see 8, 10, or 12% conversion rate. But when you send it out, 6.4 is pretty good. So if anybody's running a phone room or a large team and they're having conversion rates better than that, I told you week 1 that I would pay either to fly you to Fort Lauderdale, or I would fly to you, or at least we'd get on a Zoom call right to start off, and we would want to learn from you, and we'd be willing to pay you for your expertise if you have some that we could learn some things about your call center. But I work with a lot of different call centers across the country to learn their best practice. If you have something that you can teach us, we would be interested in learning that. But I have a special offer for Workaholics today. This is something I'm putting my neck out. I didn't get approval from anybody on this offer. So Carrie's already rolling her eyes. What's it going to be? But this is the offer that I want to make. Since I do run a real estate brokerage in Southeast Florida to process our own sales and to send our referrals out to you guys. If you have any old leads from any of these systems in your data, if you're a broker owner and you've got, I got leads from 2017, 2018, 2019, we want to work with you, okay? We want to work more closely with you, and I have an offer today to make for you. It revolves around the Statue of Liberty, and that quote at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. It says, "Give me your tired, give me your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, the tempest, toast, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I will work those old leads," is what I'm saying to you. Okay. Send me your oldest, deadest, tiredest leads. If you don't want to send them text, if you don't want to get an SMS Magic account, if you don't want to get a phone burner account, I've got 15 intern ISAs that work for me. Okay. They will call your old tired leads for you. What we're going to ask for in exchange is a 15% referral fee if we convert the lead and send it back to you. If you want to talk to me about that, my email is russ@anymacworks.com. I'd love to talk to you. I'm not looking for like 60. I need data. So if you gave me 15,000 leads that had come in from 2016, 17, 18, and 19, that's what I'm talking about. If you've got a couple hundred leads, I would just recommend texting them individually. Start texting them. Hey, are you still thinking about buying a house this summer? If you've got 1,000 or 2,000 leads, I would recommend you get an SMS Magic account, send those exact texts that I showed you, and then get on a phone burner and just follow up with them. You could do some deals this summer with that, guys. But if you don't want anything to do with it, you're so busy, you don't have any time on your hands, or you have just a fear, an anxiety of scripting and phone work, send me your tired old leads. I'll clean them for you, and I'll sign a contract with you. I'll sign a referral agreement with you that says out of your database, your CSV file, your Excel file, I'll link those back to you. On paper, in writing, they're linked to you. So if I convert them, they have to come back to you. And I'll do those for a 15% referral fee, meaning I'll hook them, you clean them and fry them. So it's my way of saying that I do believe in this stuff. My little rant about my 9-month trip only led me down a path of the formula. 4 deals from absentee owners a year, 4 deals from database mining a year, 4 deals from your subdivision farm every year, and 4 deals from your seasoned leads, man. It might not be sexy. It might not be a Zig Ziglar motivational speech or some Tony Robbins thing, but I'll bet you it gets you out of middle class and it pumps you up into a mid-level 6-figure income, because 16 closings in most markets will take care of the family. Okay. Now, if you want to get to 20, 25, 30 or more, you start to need to tweak more sources of business and a little bit more aggressive or expanded formula. But for those agents on the line today that have not sold 16 homes in any one calendar year, don't look outside of the box. Don't go outside the box. Stay in the box right there. Those little 4 right there. That would be the smartest thing you could do. So we're through week 4, April 22nd right now. I told you there'd be no cold calling, although I flirted with phone burner a little bit today because it is effective, but I promise you the texts are much more effective. You don't have to leave. You can work from home. You don't have to go out into the COVID pandemic arena. You could stay in your house and do all 4 of those sources of business. So I want to thank you one more time for whatever level of leadership you allow us to provide in your career, whatever level of trust or relationship we've built. We have only one ulterior motive, and that is to help you make more money and help Annie Mac loan officers build a stronger relationship with you. So if you got any value out of these last few weeks, please pick up the phone. Call one of your loan officers at Annie Mac Home Mortgage and say, thank you. That stuff that Russ is doing is really working out for me. I'm getting calls from absentee owners, or I'm really working my season leads differently, or I'm moving forward with my database mining. So next week, pressure's on Carrie. We might do it together. I'm not sure. But Carrie's going to come on and talk to you about geographic and subdivision farming, the 4th in the box source of business that we want you to consider for the balance of 2020. If you'd honor us with returning for one more week, we're going to dig into geographic and subdivision farming. Any of your questions, thoughts, or concerns about lead conversion, database mining, or absentee owners, send them to me, Russ at AnnieMacWorks.com. That's WORX.com. AnnieMacWorks.com, Russ at AnnieMacWorks.com, Carrie at AnnieMacWorks.com, or service at AnnieMacWorks.com. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's really growing exponentially every week, and we're so appreciative of your support. Make sure you reach out to one of the loan officers that work for you. And Anthony, I'll reach out to you directly, buddy.